Hi, everybody. Eric's here with Veronica, and Archie has joined us as well. And we're here to welcome you to our fresh air break covering Bryan, Ohio, which we dubbed the sweetest spot on Amtrak. Right, Veronica?
That's right. And I think that's a great place to start, like talking about the town. So this is, we argued a little bit, it's the Spangler Candy Company, and they make 10 million dum-dums a day.
Yep. And I've got my little box still from our trip last summer. I'm about halfway through. It's just me working on these because I enjoy root beer dum-dums, and Veronica says I'm the only person in the world who buys them, but they keep making them.
I'm sure other people also enjoy root beer. I just, it's a preference. So we did go over and see the actual factory.
Which is, it's right next to the Amtrak station. Mm-hmm. You can't miss it.
Right. So. It's right across the line, and then they have the water, I don't know if it's a water tower. But it's a big tower. I don't know what's inside.
Has to be water, right? They're not keeping sugar in there.
Well, I assume it's water, but like up here in Cleveland, they have the Mally's things, and there's nothing in those. It's more just marketing. For display. Yeah, so I don't know. But anyway, there's this big water tower, and they painted it a few years ago, and they have like a photo spot over there with like the different legs of the water tower, different colors, and then they have different types of lollipop like designs on the outside. But yeah, so like I said, there's a little place to stand. And then we went over to the downtown, and that's where we went to the actual like company store. Yeah. It was kind of like a mixture of like a historical...
like a museum / candy store. It was interesting. But I do remember us getting a little confused because I believe that store that you could go into was what we were originally looking for, but we ended up at the factory when we got there and tried to go in, and I don't know if we actually talked to anybody. An employee, I think, on the way out was like, no, you want to go to this place over downtown.
She explained that I guess it used to be inside the factory.
Yeah.
And then she explained that, no, it's been moved downtown, so now you go downtown for it.
But it was really cool. And when we talk, like we're going over here or over there, like Bryan is super small. Pretty much everything, from the Amtrak station to the candy factory to the shop that you can go to, museum, the courthouse that we'll talk about, I'm sure. All of this is like within a square mile, right? So you can walk to pretty much anything in 15, 20 minutes max. So keep that in mind. But the town square itself, like where that candy store we ended up at was located, was really like quite beautiful. Like it was really well kept and, kind of a mix of new and old, like well maintained. That we were there during the Bryan Jubilee, which is I guess a week-long festival.
I don't remember if it's a weekend or a week long. You're not editing these, so I don't know. You'll have to Google that. Feel free to Google that. Maybe Eric will Google it for you and put it up on the screen where we were talking. Maybe. Because I learned in the previous ones that he's not editing these at all.
A little bit, but it's a light touch.
But yeah, I can't remember. I just remember it's in June. All right, and so we're back after I almost died. Cottonwood is like crazy here, and I just... got me, and we had to stop.
Dealing with some allergies.
So hopefully we'll be okay. But like Eric said, the Jubilee, we went to the Jubilee in 2025. It is a 3-day event. I was able to ascertain as I was writhing about and coughing. And so it's usually like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And as we saw when we were there, they had like gyros, hibachi, all kinds of different food. And then they also had a bunch of rides set up for the kids and things.
Yeah, several carnival rides. It was lined all the way around the town square, so surrounding that courthouse. And then you had all the normal businesses on the outside, on the other side of the street. Most of the big thoroughfare was still open, but the side streets were all... While we were there, they were being kind of managed, right? So there was restricted access to that little square by car. Plenty of parking nearby, so nothing to worry about there in terms of access. But I think they're just trying to keep it safe so people could use the street and walk around safely downtown. Yeah, so I'm kind of sad that we weren't there late enough to enjoy that. I know they were setting up the live music and the bandstand and all that sort of stuff, but it looked like it'd be a lot of fun. I honestly, there was, as cute a downtown as it was, is not as much going on in Bryan and the surrounding areas as some of our other stops there. So maybe a smaller pool to choose from, but still want to ask you, like, what was your favorite thing that you, either while we were visiting or that you learned while you were researching the place, that stood out?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, the courthouse, right? So the courthouse is just beautiful. It is, like I said, it's like a French Baroque, but has like a Richardsonian Romanesque like carvings and stuff. So it was just really interesting to see those two styles together. It was really beautiful. And just for a summer day, it was just nice to like walk around and hang out there. There were like benches, there was a fountain, there was the bandstand where the band was setting up. So although a slower pace in a smaller town didn't make it any better or worse than, someplace else. Just like you said, in comparison, everything's close.
Yeah.
Right? Which is beneficial. It had a nice walkable downtown. And the thing I liked about it was it kept reminding me of Back to the Future. Right? So like I think that's the lot in Disney in LA, Universal. I think it's like the Universal lot. So like if you think of Back to the Future's downtown, like it's in tons and tons of movies. It's the one in Gremlins, like whatever. And that's like what it reminded me of. Especially that movie theater, like right there on the square. It was beautiful.
I think that was probably my favorite.
Like, I think I would literally drive out there, which is like a couple hours from where we live, just to go sit at this movie theater one day. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think we had eaten right before we went there, so it was like there was all these places and the stuff they were setting up, and like we just didn't. You can only put so much food in the body.
Yeah.
It's not possible to do everything. But yeah, so I would say my favorite part of it was just that downtown, because it didn't seem to me, and I could be wrong, but it didn't seem to me like any of it had been gutted or torn down.
No, you're right.
It looked like it was all intact. I didn't see any of the like missing teeth syndrome that's in a lot of downtowns where they've like torn some stuff down.
Stuff's just not been maintained and had to be. It probably, like the way the town's designed, with that courthouse being central in that town square, that surrounding area seems to have, stayed, I don't know, can't say revitalized, but stayed very vital like throughout the years. So even though like we were there early on a weekend, like not all the businesses had opened up yet. I think they had adjusted their hours to kind of be open for the Jubilee, but every single storefront that we walked past had something set up in it and had hours posted. It was a really cool little place. And, just across, I think one of the corners from the courthouse, there was that Carnegie Library, which was different from visually looking from some of the other Carnegie libraries that we see in some of our trips and around here in the Cleveland area. I like that, like really small, like brick, if you remember, right? Like it was an interesting style.
And that's what I think is so interesting about the Carnegie libraries, is they always have like their own sort of style. Like you said, that one was on the small side, but again, they built an addition to it that, didn't really clash with it. It sort of blended in. I'd say maybe 60s was the addition. I think the original was 1903.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just cute. Like you said, it's on a side street. I'm just like a big library nerd, so.
We all love our library. Support your local library. That park we went to too, I think, what was Lincoln Park was the name of it. That was it was a really big, nice park, just open green spaces, plenty of walking and biking trails. That playground, every time we go to one of these parks and I see one of these fancy new playgrounds, I'm like, wish I was a kid again. I could go play on it. This one was set up like, it almost looked like a reason I'm able to remember the name of the park, because of that area they had set up looks like Lincoln logs to me in my head, right? Like just those wooden structures, like a little castle that you could play in. Well, there were some kids out there playing when we were walking around the park, and all kinds of little like statuesque water fountains.
Yeah,
and
what
stuff.
was it? I think it was like, I think I made you stick your head in like a lion's mouth to
was
use
the
one water
yeah,
fountain.
You had to,
because it was the lions who like donated it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was trying to think like, why would it be a lion? That's what it was. It was like the lions.
But it was super cute. There was all kinds of little stuff like that. And then of course, it's not an everyday thing to Bryan, but while we were there, happened to have that Pups in the Park or Jurassic Bark.
Right.
Little stunt dog show with dinosaur inflatables and stuff. That was pretty cute. Like seeing them set up for that and the dogs running around practicing and stuff.
Yeah, and like I wanted to go, and like I told everyone about this because like I had never heard anything about these like traveling dogs because they're like all rescues, right?
Yeah.
And they've like trained these dogs to like tour the U.S. and I guess there's a whole bunch of like different teams of them and stuff. And they were coming to town this year, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And then it was when we were in Bangkok.
Yeah.
So like we weren't here. I was telling everybody I knew, like, take your kids, take your grandkids. If you've never heard of this, go see them.
But regardless of what show is on, that little amphitheater area they had set up in the park was super cool. There was like a little, like, what do you call those fountains that come straight up out of the ground?
Yeah, like splash paddy thing for the kids.
Thing,
and then there were swings for us adults, like, bench sort of swings for us to sit on. So we did hang out there for a short while. That was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just think like the whole place, it was just like a capsule town. Like I really liked that. Everything was just like so nice and compact and easy to find from the station.
Yeah.
And I talked about it in the video, the history video. I searched near and far for documentation on this town and could not find anything. Right? I am like the only thing I could find was like birth records from 1800 till today, and it is like the county seat. It's like the Williams County Courthouse or whatever. Yeah. So like it is the county seat out there, but it's just it's a smaller scale town. So when I was there, they did give me that handout, so I was able to read a lot about the courthouse. And most of what I learned about Bryan came from the Spangler website because they have like a really awesome online map for like what to do in downtown, as well as the Visit Bryan, Ohio thing. So like if you Google Bryan, you find a bunch of them on YouTube. So like they do like different videos for their what would you call that, like tourism and stuff, and then their events. So again, since they're like just out there and sort of by themselves, it's kind of close from what I remember to like the Michigan-Indiana border. So it's like kind of like right on the edge of Ohio.
30 miles from Waterloo, Indiana, I think, which is the next Amtrak station. Don't quote me on that distance, but it's the next stop for sure.
But yeah, so like since they were out there, they're sort of, again, like self-contained. So one thing I did find when I went inside and they gave me the little pamphlet was they showed that farmers, like market type thing that they would have around the courthouse like 100 years ago. And like the farmers would literally like hitch up their wagons and it would like surround the entire courthouse. And then they would like sell their goods or whatever. And they still do those farmers markets on, I think they said Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
So you can do that. They have like that car cruise in.
And then Wednesdays was the band.
The band.
Which was a big
right
thing in your research, right? That
that
same
band
guy's been the band leader for like 65 years.
Yeah, the band had been around since like the 1850s or something. They're like 150 years in, and I think they had like 3 band leaders. So yeah, I made jokes that they're vampires. I swear the people of Bryan are not vampires. It was just a joke. But yeah, that's like some staying power. And again, like if you
kept young by big band music.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was, I think it was on Facebook. They have like a Facebook page, and like that band, it's not like 5 people, it's like 50 people. Right. It was huge. I was making a joke that everybody in town had an instrument. So like, on Wednesday they ring the bell and like everybody leaves their shops and homes and like plays in the band. But yeah, no, so it was just like a really good place to be in. I just felt really comfortable there. And, from what we found, there was all kinds of different places to go. There were coffee houses, there were breweries. There was a Mexican restaurant, and then they had all the like carnival type atmosphere stuff if you go during the Jubilee.
Yeah.
So I think there's more than enough to do if you want to hop off the Amtrak, stay a night, and then hop back on. If you're using your rail pass, or if you're just like, I'd really love to explore the Midwest. There you go. It was definitely an adventure, and every time I'll ever see a Dum Dum lollipop for the rest of my life, I'll remember that town.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I enjoy my root beer Dum Dums, and we bought a bunch of them to ship to some of our friends overseas who didn't know what Dum Dums were. So we're spreading the wealth of Bryan across the world as best we can.
Yeah, and my office mates got quite sick of Dum Dum lollipops because my office was like a bank last year because it was just more and more of those lollipops.
Yeah.
But Eric, at the store, they did have some unique things. So not only did they have the lollipops, but I remember I got you root beer flavored lip balm.
Yes.
And then I think they had like T-shirts, all kinds of different like memorabilia and things.
Yeah.
So it was like a really.
I even played the interactive video games they had set up to like work in the factory or drive the trucks, I believe.
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
It was interesting. Had a few different like photo opportunities, like photo booth type things. So it was a neat
and I mean,
place.
it was. I guess the number one thing to mention is it was free. So like you just walk in and they're off the street. So you get a little taste of history, and you can access like all the different types and like specialty flavors and stuff too that like you can't just buy at the shop. So like that whole box of root beer that he got, like you can't normally get those anywhere. You have to pick like a mixture of Dum Dums. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could go to the bank and fish out all the root beer ones.
That's usually what I do. Get the butterscotch and the root beer.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like Veronica said, if you're riding on the Lakeshore Limited and you're not on a schedule, stop in Bryan and check it out. You can literally, you get off the train station on the north side of Bryan and you're on Main Street, and you can basically walk a mile all the way through downtown to the Plaza Motel, which is one of the easiest and best options for lodging there, which I'll talk about a little bit in my station information video if you want to check that out, and some of the ways that you can explore Bryan. But yeah, it's a cool little town, very idyllic, Back to the Future 1950s kind of vibes, right? Just from a architecture and layout standpoint, and just the general feeling of the place. But worth a stop to check out for sure.
And one thing we didn't talk about was that rail speed record. I hadn't heard anything about it. Like I didn't know about that. Usually when I'm researching like the history stuff, I'm like researching when did rail come here and like how did the town develop. Whereas this was more of like a test, I guess you want to call it. This section of track, I think they said, is the straight 300 miles.
300 miles of almost perfectly straight track between Toledo and
Elkhart, Indiana.
Elkhart, yeah. So it's like 2 stops into Indiana. And you can see it in the drone footage if you watch, either of the other videos for Bryan. Like it's just straight as narrow as far as I can see over the horizon. So yeah, perfect spot to do something like that. But the method that they used to do it.
Yeah, it was like a jet engine or something. They just strapped it on a train.
A jet engine. And I don't know that we had photos of it. I remember finding a photo somewhere. If it's not in the other videos, I'll try to include it here. But yeah, it's basically like what you think, like a rocket strapped to the top of a train.
Yeah, like a Looney Tunes
episode. It was like, Wile E. Coyote might as well have been piloting it.
Right.
But it got up to like, 186 miles per hour?
I think it was 183, but I think it's still like the record in America.
The plaque was still up there, and you could read about it. And at least as of when we were researching it last year, that was still the land speed record, and I don't think we've been setting any high-speed rail records since then, but hopefully soon. Right, Archie?
That depends on what you're looking for. If you want some nice slow travel on Amtrak,
yep.
But if you are looking for high speed, I think they were talking about doing the LA Vegas thing. I think they're working on that one. But that's about all I had. I just wanted to bring that up before I forgot because, like I said,
it's a fun little fact.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like I just forgot about.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us for our fresh air break as we talked about our adventures in Bryan, Ohio. We appreciate you very much. If you want to support the channel, please take a moment, just like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and maybe leave us a comment, especially if you've been to Bryan. Let us know what it is that you like about it. If there's something that we missed in our exploration.
Or that we got wrong, because these are totally just like ad-libbed. We're just chatting about our visit, so feel free to share or correct us on anything.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you on the rails.
Take care.